Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you how to draw a face from the 3/4 point of view. So like any other face, you start out with a circle. Then, depending on how extreme you want the 3/4 view to be, you bring down the line for the middle of the face. And it's slightly curved to fit the curvature of the face. And then with that line, you can kind of add in the vague idea for where the edge of the face will be and where the jawline will be. Once you have that, you can define where the top of the head is and where the bottom of the head is, and find that midpoint for the eyes. Then, once you have that, divide this into thirds for the bottom of the nose and the bottom of the lips. Once we have that, we can start adding in the features. The eye will extend just a little bit past this middle line. And the eye for the 3/4 point of view is a little bit different from a straight-on view of the eye. A straight-on view of the eye is usually kind of longer, a little bit thinner, or the 3/4 view of an eye has kind of gotten a bit shorter because of the perspective. And then the second eye isn't quite the width of the eye between them. It's almost, but not quite. And this eye, it's important to remember, it doesn't like run off the face or anything. I've seen a lot of drawings where like half the eye just disappears. But it is all still seen, it's just kind of squashed. And then generally more rounded in shape. We can add some irises. Eye cover fold. And eyebrows. The eyebrows will always just kind of follow. You can just kind of visualize in your head where the brow bone is. The eyebrow will just follow that bone. And then the nose kind of comes, it follows this curvature of the eyebrow almost, and it comes down. And the nose is probably one of the trickiest parts of the 3/4 view of a face because it's not straight on, it's not a total profile. Because on a straight on view of the face, the nose is as thick as the space between the eyes. However, in this view, it usually extends past this eye slightly and doesn't quite make it to the edge of that one. But noses are always difficult to draw, especially if you're doing like a cartoon or simplified thing, because, you know, they're all just shading. There's no definite lines with the nose. Anyhow, with the mouth, if you follow the curvature of the face from the middle of the eye, the mouth is almost the same width of that. It's usually maybe a little bit smaller on this side. And now you can go back and kind of redefine what the face shape is. Here we have an indent for where the eye is. Comes up and makes the forehead. And then it comes out again for the cheek. And here I've made the chin too long, so you can definitely alter your first undersketch. It's also important to realize that unlike the straight-on face, you know, the ear isn't like right up next to this eye. There's definitely some distance, but the ear is still the same length from the eyebrow to the bottom of the nose. And the neck, it depends on the posture of the person. The neck, usually the front of it kind of originates somewhere around this area of the chin. Most people are just kind of slouching, so their head comes forward a little bit. And the neck always comes from kind of behind the ear. Alright, now we can go in and kind of get the lines that we want out of this. Keep in mind, the 3/4 view is definitely one that is the most difficult, but it's one you probably see more often, because it's not often you see like a person straight on or in a straight profile, so it's good to know. And of course, there are very varying degrees of the perspective. Sometimes, it's an almost profile, sometimes it's almost straight on. And there's just, a ton of different positions that you can practice, so it's important just to kind of be familiar with all of them, but it's good to just know the basics. And of course, as always, the best way to learn how to draw any of these things is to observe people in real life and to see what real people look like. And so here we basically have this done. We can throw in some hair if we want. And there you have it, how to draw a face from the 3/4 point of view. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching, and check out my other videos. Thanks.